Hey sis,
Hey sis, what's going on, girl?
I'm doing well. How are you doing? Good to see you.
I I am doing really well. It's so good to see you. I enjoy every time I get to see you, so I'm just to the moon right now.
Yes, well, welcome everyone. We just want to say welcome to tuning in to the ZWSB.24 podcast. This is season 1, episode 4, and we're excited to bring this to you. This is something a little bit different, a little bit fun. We are actually going to do our episode 4 of Would You Rather questions. So if you want to, please comment below. Let us know your answers. That way we can have fun and be able to chit chat with you as well and see what you all are going to say to these questions as well. So the first one that we have is Would you rather time travel 20 years in the past or 20 years in the future?
Wow, that's a question. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with 20 years in the future, and I'll tell you why. I don't want to go back 20 years in the past because if I go back 20 years in the past, I would be 17, and I don't know if I would have the opportunity to have my kids again. And I don't wanna miss out on that at all. My children are everything to me. The 2 of them, they're 2 of my greatest gifts, so I definitely don't want to miss out on that. But if I could time travel 20 years into the future, I guess I would get a preview or a sneak peek of what my life is gonna be like and where we're gonna be. We get to see the success of our podcast
Mhm.
and just all the fruit of our labor. So I'm gonna go with 20 years in the future. What about you?
Yes, so for me, it's probably the same, to be honest, to go 20 years in the future. I feel like it would give me an option to figure out what I should do now. So I make sure that those things happen in the future. But at the same time, I don't know, I'm always nervous. And if I can literally get into some kind of time machine and go forward, I always wonder if going forward would make me wonder if the things that I'm doing in the future or predictions that I'm even thinking of now, what could be in the future, actually would have turned out that way, and if I would be disappointed. Same thing, like if going in the past, like if I changed these different things, the outcome of it. So I always wonder if I knew what was going on in the future, would I be too afraid to go back to the present to make sure that I did those things so that in the future that's how it turned out.
Right.
Yeah, but yes, that is definitely, I think. I've seen movies where I don't know if it's called The Time Traveler's Wife. Have you seen that?
Yes, I love that. I love the book too.
Yes, it's awesome. It's a sad story, but at the same time a very beautiful story. And so I always wonder, I'm just like, how did that actor go forward and back? And then you run into yourself and you're like, oh my goodness, like what do you do? It's just so many different things that can play out in there. But yeah, I would definitely like to see where I would be in 20 years. I would want to see if I actually successfully completed the goals that I want to do right now in the present and see how they turn out. But I thought that was pretty neat. Let's go on to our next one.
So, would you rather read a book or watch the movie? Would you rather read the book or watch the movie?
That's a toughie one, to be honest, because there are some movies that I just want to see that I know are books, but at the end of the day, I actually prefer to read the book. I have an artist, but that goes by the name of Nicholas Sparks. I'm sure we have the same favorite movie that we've seen that we actually went and tried to go to the locations when we went to Charleston, South Carolina. Do you remember that
I
for the
do.
Notebook? Yes. So for me, I like to read the book because I want to know everything because you don't always see everything in the movie that you would have read in the book. So I love to just read the book first before I watch the movie. What about you?
I'm gonna go with read the book, and
Yeah.
I totally agree with you because the book has so many intricate details in it that
Mm,
when you see the movie, you can understand why they did certain things the way that they did.
yeah.
So, it's going to be the book all the way for me because it just gives you all of those details to fill it in. So what I love is I love reading the book first and then watching the movie. And
Mhm.
then if I watch the movie ahead of knowing that there was a book, I will read the book and then watch the movie again. So it kind of becomes an obsession in a
It
way.
really does. Yeah, you know what? I actually was thinking, so you and I are both watching the Bridgerton series. I have never read the books, and I was so excited to see the series. I didn't even want to go and read the book because I was like, it's going to take me some time because it's a lot. I think there's 8 children. So to sit there and read every book before I see it, I'm like, I got to watch it first. But that is a series that I will go back so that way I can actually read the book to really understand each character. But yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely in for the book too. All right, y'all, let's move on to the third question. Ooh, this is a good one. Would you rather travel the world for a year for free? Okay, everyone, for free. Everything's included. This is food, clothing, shelter. Or would you rather have $50,000 to spend however you please? What do you think?
I would rather travel the world for free, a year a year for free, and here's why. My husband and I, we just went on 2 vacations last year,
Mm-hmm.
and while we did not get close to 50,000, I can go somewhere every single month and have stay in the best places, eat the best food, go on the best tours. I mean, last year we went to Disney World. I know that you guys are going soon,
Yeah.
and if you can get that premium Disney World package, oh, yes. I would travel the world for free because everything I mean, think about it, like, our entire family can come. I can have a vacation, I could have an immediate family vacation. I could take you on vacation. So, I mean, we could do this 2 ways. I could get the vacation for a year, you could get the 50,000 and we could split. I mean,
It's
that's
a
how we
win.
do this. Exactly.
Yes, definitely. So I am actually the same, guys. I think we're gonna have the same answer. They're so similar. It's funny. But yes, I'd rather travel the world because I don't even have the money anyways. Like, so we try to take in our family vacations. It's much longer. We try to take them every 2 to 3 years with the whole family. My husband and I are going to start trying to save some money too, where we can just take a devoted vacation aside from the kids as much as we love them, but to really focus on us. But to travel the world for a year, all expenses paid, and it's a once in a lifetime thing, I'm going to go for that because $50,000, I mean, it's a lot of money. But I feel like you can take a side job, do a side hustle, and make that anytime, really, if you wanted to, through a course of the year, if you really, really wanted to. But traveling the world for a year, not many people get that ability to do that. So I definitely agree with that.
Yes.
Moving on to question 4.
Okay, sis, would you rather hear a comforting lie or an uncomfortable truth?
Girl, it honestly depends on what the situation is. Because some things I'm just like, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. Seriously. But in all honesty, I would rather hear an uncomfortable truth. And here's why, guys. If you are open from the very beginning, right? There's no need to keep lying on top of another lie, on top of another lie. And then you just get caught in this web of lies to the point where you probably believe those lies. You don't even know what is actually true. So, I mean, yes, there are times when there are certain things that you just don't want to share, or maybe because we're human, right? We make mistakes and you don't want to tell your significant other or your best friend. But at the end of the day, that lie will surface at some point. You'll get caught up in it and you don't want to be caught in there. So for me, I'd rather just have the uncomfortable truth, be upset for the moment or however it is, try to recover from that and move on. That's what I would do. What do you think, sis?
You ain't got to lie. I am gonna go with uncomfortable truth, because
Mhm.
if it's something for me that's hard to hear I have a husband that he definitely is always gonna tell me the truth. He's gonna tell me things that it's no one else would tell me. I know that you would tell me something that no one else would tell me. I mean, there are just certain people in your life that would do that. And in the moment, it doesn't feel good. In the moment, you're just kind of like salty about it. But at the end of the day, you're going to bounce back. You're going to recover. It's
Yeah.
going to be all right. It may be something that's terrible to hear, like that your kid hasn't been doing their homework for the entire year. I
Mm.
mean, something like that, or something even worse than that. You just never know. But I'd rather hear that and know how to course correct and learn for the future. I mean, with uncomfortable truths comes lessons learned. I'm on chapter 37. So I'm going to go with uncomfortable truth.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. All right,
Okay.
moving on. Okay, so this one is question number 5. Would you rather spend 24 hours with a famous artist or walk away with $20,000?
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
That's a really hard one.
Think really hard of that famous artist and then decide. Because I already know if y'all watched the last episode 2 weeks ago, I don't know. I wonder what what your answer is this. What do you think? You still trying to think?
I'm going to take 24 hours with a famous artist.
Yep. And who I wonder who's your famous artist though? I gotta
They don't have to know. They don't. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm gonna be transparent.
ask.
My favorite artist is Chris Brown,
There you
and
go.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like he is a person that we kinda grew up with. Actually, we did grow up with him. We're about the same age, and he has been very, very transparent and very honest with the things that he has gone through. And actually this year, I was actually watching an interview that he was in, and you have to understand that there's such a sacrifice that people that are in mainstream media, famous people, celebrities, the amount of eyes and pressure that they have on them. At every moment there's someone talking about them. At every moment they have someone watching them and judging their every move, I'm sure. And he said something that was so profound to me. And he said, "I no longer care to convince people that I'm a good person. I'm just going to be one."
Mhm.
And really that changed a lot for me because for the longest time, I thought that I was a really great person. And then gradually throughout your life, as you're growing, things happen. And sometimes moments and people can make you out to be a bad person. So there
Yeah.
was a point in my life, Z, that I honestly thought, well, maybe I've never been a good person. Maybe I've always been a villain. And I'm
Mhm.
gonna be honest with you, I've struggled with that for a while, and I'm not even sure that you and I have talked about this at
Mhm.
all, but, there have just been some things that have happened that I'm sure that I'm sure that family, they want your life to be panned out perfectly because they love you and they just want the best for you. But throughout my life, there have been things that have happened where I was made out to be a bad person, and I never meant it to be that way. I was just following my heart. But that was something that was really, really profound. And I think that it's really important to tell people how much or how impactful they are to you or even the world. So, again, that's one interview that I saw, and I really appreciate him being transparent and honest. So, we're going to go with 24 hours with a famous artist. That's is. What about
Yeah.
you, sis?
No,
You gonna
that's good.
24 hours, or you walking away with the
Oh,
20 Gs?
yes, yes. So I am the same. I'd rather spend 24 hours with a famous artist. And I think it's just because even though $20,000 is a lot, 24 hours with someone famous is a once in a lifetime thing. You couldn't even pay $20,000 to even get to spend a day with a famous artist. So I'm going to choose that. Yes. And if it's a current famous artist, it's the same one that we just talked about in the last episode. I would love to spend 24 hours with Miss Tori Kelly. She is amazing. I got to meet her one time. At the time, she actually had tea with Tori, and I didn't pay for that. I wish I had. And I've heard many different things. I had seen interviews where she opens up in prayer, and then she just talks about her life, likes to question her fans, whoever that she's having tea with at the time. And I just love her whole vibe. I love how honest she is, how
Mhm.
pure she is, and her music. And then I just want to see if she had any advice to give,
Yeah.
just to me or anyone that's in the world, because she's just so amazing. So definitely, I would rather spend 24 hours with a famous artist for sure. For sure. Okay, so this is the next question, guys.
Okay. Would you rather have an in-house cook or maid?
This one is hard because
You know, I know this one.
both. But honestly, because I have children and they are older, they help me clean this house. I make sure that everyone has a specific bathroom, specific floor, because we have 3 floors in our home. So it would be to have an in-house cook, and I'll tell you why. So I need to get my fitness game back on. I don't have the greatest fitness. It's been a while. However, a lot of it with making sure to keep your body fit, a good 80%, it's like that 80-20, is dieting. So I feel like if I had an in-house cook or nutritionist, rather, they would be able to help me come up with a plan and then actually cook the meal for me, because I'm not lazy, but I'm so busy. I have a full-time job. I'm busy running right and left to take my kids to and from whatever program or event or hobby, whatever sport, whatever it is that they do. So by the time I get home, I'm just ready to sit down and already have a meal prepared for me. So I'd rather have an in-house cook personally. What about you?
So this is where we're different. I would take a maid.
Oh, wow.
100%. Yeah, clean my house so I don't have to worry about it. I
Mhm.
feel like I spend so much okay, so with my house, it will take me 2 hours to clean everything up, but it takes 2.5 seconds for it to go the other way. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a maid. I feel like a maid will help me organize things, keep things
Mhm.
as they are. I don't have to worry about mopping the floor, sweeping, vacuuming, washing windows,
Yeah, that's
making
good.
beds, like, I can cook. I can decide how to cook, what to cook.
Mhm.
I can do that all day, but if I could have a maid if if there's some kind of maid sponsorship program out there that would like to do that for me, and I'll mention y'all every single episode,
Yeah,
holla at me, girl.
yeah, so I actually see a lot of maid services in my area. Now, I'm on a budget, y'all, so I honestly, not that I couldn't afford it, but because like I said, I have older kids, they can take care of these things. I don't foresee ever hiring a maid, for the exception of when I move. Yes, I want someone in this house to deep clean it for me, because I do not feel like getting in all the nooks and crannies, those floorboards, vents, all of that. But you should see, maybe there's someone around your area locally that doesn't charge a whole lot. That way, maybe once a month, they can do that for you.
So, they're actually before we're the 2nd owners of this home that we're in, and the owners before they had a maid. They were actually retired,
Um,
and they had a maid, and, I mean, the house was impeccable. I mean, when we came to tour the house, it was amazing. I mean, the house is impeccable now, but it's because we have a toddler, and then we have a preteen, so, of course, they as much as they can. I mean, they do their best to clean up and put things back where they belong, but sometimes, that
Mhm.
doesn't happen, so
Yeah.
just, be having a maid would be helpful. Plus, I ran that by my husband was like, "No, we can clean our house, Stephanie."
Oh, yes, my husband's the same way. No, even when we move out of houses, he's like that. But the last house, yeah, had to get a maid just in there and help clean up a little bit. It's just hard. It just takes a lot of work. So I can see, like I said, it's like 50-50 for me, but I'm trying to eat better. I know my habits and how I've been eating. So at the moment, I'd probably rather have an in-house cook that always will prepare like fresh food, and it's always there the moment I walk in the door. I can just sit down and like I'm at a restaurant, and just have,
Oh, yeah.
and just relax because it's like 2 hour and a half or 2 hours. So I don't have to worry about preparing. So, but yeah, no, that was a good one for sure. Let's move on to the next question. So, question 7: would you rather give up social media or give up watching movies for the rest of your life?
Okay. This is hard. For the rest of my life?
For the rest of your life. I know that's a toughie. Make sure y'all comment below. Let us know what you think. Let us know your answers.
I Okay, I'm gonna give up watching movies for the rest of my life because
Mm.
then I would lose all of our subscribers.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I would lose this opportunity to do this, so it's gonna be theater for me. Broadway, here I come.
Yes. Yes. No, it's a good one. It's hard. So prior to even doing this podcast, I was never really on social media. Matter of fact, I'm more on Instagram than I am Facebook. 10 years ago was Facebook more so than Instagram. And I'm on there, honestly, everyone, is because some of my family lives overseas. So it's just a better way for me to connect via social media. But at the same time, as much as I love this and I want to keep this going, I don't know. I can't give up watching movies for the rest of my life. I would probably give up social media. And that's the only reason why is because so much gets into it. I mean, I try not to watch the news very much, but there are a lot of times that I see that kind of stuff and it just kind of brings me down. I'm like, okay, here goes an incident that happened. Here goes this. And then I find myself wanting to snoop in on what everyone else's business is. So I don't know. Right now, I would keep the social media, but just thinking of my whole life, I probably would give it up because I love movies. I love going on dates with my husband. I love being able to sit and binge watch. I love thinking that I'm acting out a movie like I'm actually in it. Like the romance, the comedy. Something about it makes me escape from, the real reality of life sometimes when life is hard. I can just throw on a movie and it just makes me feel better. So that's for me for right now. But I do love you all. No, I gotta stay on social media to make sure that we
Well,
keep
you
the
gonna
podcast.
have to say hi to your aunts and uncles overseas because
I
no, I'm
know
just kidding.
I have to get those calling cards. I gotta get those calling cards. My
Man.
I have
If
those in
you know, those, international calling cards, that's from, like, back in the day at the Asian store, like
yes, yes. So for those that, which we will discuss our culture at some point, and but yeah, so I'm half Filipino. My mom actually lives in the Philippines, so thankfully because we have social media
you
and
don't have to say
Facebook
bye to her.
Messenger, just be like, bye, Ina. I'm sorry.
Bye, Ina.
I know. So that would definitely be hard, but there's always a fun. I can go to those Asian stores down the street. I can pay $5 for like 60 minutes. So there's always that option. But yes, I would lose the benefit of having social media and to checking it out on my family over there. But yeah, for now, it would probably be watching movies for the rest of my life.
So, you said watching movies. I don't lose Bridgerton because that's not a movie, that's a series.
It might have the potential to become a movie. Just saying. There's lots of great movies out there.
Well, you're gonna have to stream it on social media so I can see it here.
I know, right? Oh my
Loophole.
goodness.
Find that loophole.
Yep, got to. All right, guys. We are on to question 8, which is: would you rather have fortune or fame? What do you think?
Hard. Hmm.
I know that's a toughie. Well, it can be tough. It depends the perspective that you're thinking of.
So, this is the perspective that I'm coming from. This could go 2 ways. I'm not all about money. I feel like
Mhm.
I'm on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh,
Like,
yes,
um,
yes.
okay, so this is hard because I'm not all about money, but if I had a lot of money, then I would be able to spend all this time with my children and my family.
Mhm.
And then if I were famous, I don't know if I would have that much time with my family and my friends, but I would be able to help a whole different multitude of people.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with fortune because I want to spend time with my family. I want to travel with them.
Mhm.
I feel like I could still reach people in different ways, and my life gets to be my life. I don't have to worry about eating a cheeseburger in public and people saying something about that, I guess. I don't know. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with fortune.
Yeah, that's good.
What about
I
you?
agree. I agree with you 100%. That's the thing that I was thinking. So, my thing is I was thinking if I'm famous, obviously, I mean, I'm going to have a lot of money at some point, but the same way I agree with you is that you find yourself not being able to spend as much time with your family. And if you do spend time with your family, there's always what paparazzi looking around, trying to see you're in the tabloids, you're in the news all the time. And you can't really have that secret part of your life that's just you and your family. Everyone is always in the know, which is not always the best thing. You can't be secretive in your own home. There's always someone on the outside looking in, trying to figure out what's going on in your personal life. So
Mhm.
I would say fortune definitely, just because even with depending on how much money it is that you're making, the type of employment that you have, at least you have some kind of money to be able to spend time with your family. You can travel, you can go places without having people all in your business, trying to figure out what you're doing, where you're going, what you're wearing, and you don't have to worry about those things. So I definitely agree with fortune as well. Definitely for sure. So I hope everyone who tuned in today had a great time with the Would You Rather questions. I hope you, just to let you guys know, I am one of your hosts here, ZW, and here with my sister, my best friend. She's the other co-host, Stephanie, which is SB. So we're just thankful that you're here. But I'm going to shoot it over to Stephanie, let you know how you can find us.
So we are on many different social media platforms. You can find this podcast on our YouTube channel at ZWSB.24. We are also on TikTok, we are on Instagram, and we are on Facebook. Our podcast airs every other Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And our next episode will be available to you guys on July 2nd. So we look forward to seeing you there. We have a lot of new things that are coming up in our podcast. In our next couple of podcasts, we are going to be doing an unboxing of one of Z's and I's our adventures to Lavoot. So we're going to be opening some Lavoot clothing that we've ordered, and we're going to be putting that together and showing you guys what our outfits look like. So we have a lot of good things that are coming up. We know that the 4th of July is coming up, so we're going to be sharing some things about that as well. So we thank you guys so much for tuning in. We thank you for everything that you're doing. We hope that you have an amazing week, and tune in and see us every other Tuesday. Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye, sis.
Bye, sis.